Welcome back, geographers. How do the physical features of the United States west of the Mississippi River make the region unique? Physical landscape. The Mississippi River divides the United States into two parts. The area west of the Mississippi is larger than the area to the east. States west of the Mississippi are usually larger than states east of the river. Their populations are usually more spread out than in the east. The landforms are steeper and rockier. The climate tends to be drier. Many are rich in natural resources. The Great Plains are just west of the Mississippi. The plains appear flat in many places. In other places they look like gently rolling land. The Great Plains were once covered by wild grasses. Herds of bison grazed there. Today the Great Plains are covered by farms and ranches. The Black Hills are in the northern Great Plains. Evergreen trees darken the hills and give them their name. The Rocky Mountains are located on the western edge of the Great Plains. The Rockies are not a single mountain chain but a cordillera. A cordillera is a region of parallel mountain chains. The Rockies extend from Canada to Mexico. Some peaks are as high as 14,000 feet. Trees cover the slopes up to the timberline, the elevation where it is too cold for trees to grow. Several different mountain ranges line the Pacific coast. Many of these mountains formed where tectonic plates meet. The lithosphere cracked. Broken land rose into steep, rugged mountains. Heavy rainfall and cold temperatures combined to create glaciers in the mountains. The Cascades run through western Oregon and Washington state. The Cascades were made from volcanic activity, and some of these volcanoes are still active today. The Sierra Nevada range runs along the California-Nevada border. Mount Whitney is in this mountain range. Mount Whitney rises to about 14,500 feet, 4,419 meters. It is the highest point in the 48 contiguous states. Contiguous means connected to. The contiguous states are those from the Atlantic to the Pacific Oceans. Hawaii and Alaska are not among the contiguous states. Between the Rockies and the Cascade Range and Sierra Nevada is a variety of landforms. In the southeast is the Colorado Plateau. A plateau is a large area of generally flat land that is at a high elevation. Many canyons cut through the Colorado Plateau. One of these canyons is the Grand Canyon. The Colorado River winds along the bottom of the canyon, more than a mile below the rim. North and west of the Colorado Plateau is the Basin and Range region. This name refers to a pattern on the land of steep, high mountains separated by low-lying basins. North of the Basin and Range region is the Columbia Basin. Much of this area is flat. Alaska is the largest state, having the most land area. Alaska is west of Canada. Mountains run along its southern and northern edges. Mount McKinley in Alaska is the highest point in the United States. It is part of the Alaska Range. Hawaii is in the Pacific Ocean. It includes more than 130 islands. Volcanoes formed these islands. 2 volcanoes in Hawaii are still active. The wind and sea have eroded some volcanic mountains. Some islands have sandy beaches along the shore. Bodies of water. The Pacific Ocean borders the western shores of the United States. There are many major ports on the Pacific coast. Louisiana and Texas border the Gulf of Mexico and also have many ports. The coastlines of the Pacific Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico, however, are very different. The Pacific coast has a steep coastline and rocky cliffs. The Gulf Coast is more stable and flat, with many shallow, marshy areas. There are relatively few lakes west of the Mississippi River because of the dry climate. The largest lake west of the Mississippi River is Utah's Great Salt Lake. This is the largest salt lake in the Americas. The depth of this lake increases or decreases depending on how much water evaporates from it. 2 other important lakes in the region are Lake Tahoe and Lake Mead. There are several major rivers in the western United States. The Colorado River flows from the western slope of the Rocky Mountains to the Pacific Ocean. It provides water for farming and cities. Dams on the Columbia River provide hydroelectric power. Some rivers in the west flow west toward the Pacific Ocean. Other rivers flow east toward the Gulf of Mexico. An imaginary line through the Rocky Mountains called the Continental Divide separates the 2 sets of rivers. Climates of the region. The area west of the Mississippi River has many different climates, from rainforests in the northwest to dry hot deserts in the southwest. Mountains play an important role in forming climates. West-facing slopes of the mountains along the coastline receive a lot of rain and snow from storms coming from the Pacific Ocean. This marine west coast climate is home to vast forests. The valleys to the east of the coastal ranges lie in the rain shadow, so they are dry. In these areas, rainwater from the mountains is used to water crops, a process called irrigation. The dry climate is what causes so much evaporation from Great Salt Lake. Some areas are so dry that they are covered by large deserts. The western Great Plains have a semi-arid climate. A semi-arid climate has more rain than a desert but not enough for trees to grow. Temperatures get hot in the summer and cold in the winter. Sometimes in the winter a dry wind called the Chinook blows. The eastern Great Plains has two types of climates. The north has a humid continental climate because cold air masses swoop down from the Arctic. The south has a humid subtropical climate because warm, moist air blows in from the Gulf of Mexico. The Alaskan climate is cold. Hawaii has a tropical rainforest climate with high temperatures and lots of rainfall. The table below shows the climate by region. Resources of the region. The United States west of the Mississippi River has a variety of natural resources. These include petroleum, found in the Gulf of Mexico, southern Great Plains, California, and Alaska. Natural gas and coal. Hydroelectric power produced by dams on large rivers. Wind and solar power. Ethanol, a fuel made from corn blended with gasoline. Gold, silver, copper, zinc and lead mined in the Rocky Mountains. Great natural beauty, which can be enjoyed in national parks.